Netanyahu has doubled down on his stance that nothing short of what he calls total victory, the total destruction of Hamas, will bring an end to this war, saying that even if there is a hostage deal, the IDF, the Israeli army, will still go into Rafah and mount an offensive there to destroy the tunnels and the infrastructure and the battalions of Hamas that they say are holding out in that southern city right on the edge of the Gaza Strip, where there are also, of course, more 1.5 million people who've crowded in there seeking refuge. And there have been, continuous concern and calls from the international community on Israel not to mount an offensive there. Benjamin Netanyahu says that anyone who's calling for them for an immediate ceasefire is basically saying, well, then you have to give up on losing the war. He's brought to the table of the Israeli cabinet this Sunday a declaratory statement, which they voted through unanimously, which actually rejects calls for a unilateral recognition from some members of the international community for a Palestinian state. This Israeli government declaration says that such a step would be effectively a prize for terrorism, and they say that it could not pave the way for peace. And the background to that, of course, is even talk of the US and perhaps the UK and other European nations unilaterally recognizing a Palestinian state. Israel and a lot of people in Israel and politicians are rejecting that out of hand.
Catherine, once again, we had protests taking place in Tel Aviv last evening. Obviously, hostage families taking the Prime Minister to task for not doing enough to secure the release of their loved ones. And, of course, many calling for the Prime Minister to go.
Absolutely. These have become weekly demonstrations in Tel Aviv. Sometimes they're more than one a week. But on Saturday night, there was a particularly large protest there in Tel Aviv, outside the defense headquarters, also outside one of Benjamin Netanyahu's homes, and people calling for an immediate deal to bring the hostages home. Members of the families there speaking out very passionately, saying we don't see why you're stalling on these talks that have been taking place in Cairo. Just sign a deal. But lots of protesters, yes, calling for Benjamin Netanyahu to go. They're saying they want elections now. And of course, his position as Prime Minister is being increasingly questioned after the 7th of October. The man who had, styled himself as Mr. Security, or people, of course, asking huge questions about that. And some of those protesters, really saying, look, he's dragging this war out to be able to keep himself in power. So there's growing frustration inside Israel, with lots of people voicing their unhappiness with Netanyahu in particular.